from Hook on Homemade Happiness. Welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Tunisian ribbing stitch. For this tutorial, I am using a J 6mm Tunisian crochet hook and worsted weight yarn. So we're going to get started by getting our yarn on our hook. And for this stitch, you will need to chain a multiple of 8. So for this tutorial, I'm going to chain 16. And here is 16. Now you can do this ribbing in lots of different ways. We are just going to be doing, it's going to be a combination of knit and purl stitches. So for the pattern we're doing, we will need a multiple of 8. So now I'm just going to do a regular Tunisian foundation row. So I'm going to start in the second chain from my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into that chain and yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to do that across my row for my first forward pass, gathering these stitches on my hook. And here is my last chain. And you should have the same number of stitches on your hook as you started in your starting chain. So now I'm going to do my return pass. And for my return pass, I will chain 1. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops on your hook. I'm going to continue repeating that all the way across. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops all the way across until only 1 loop remains on your hook. There you have your foundation row. Now what I'm going to be doing is alternating knit stitches and purl stitches. I'm going to be doing 2 knits and 2 purls. So I already have my first stitch on my hook here, so I'm going to start in this second stitch where I'm going to do a knit stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook in the space in between those front and back loops. I'm going to insert my hook here and then yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to do that again in my next stitch. So here, I'm going to do another knit stitch, inserting my hook right here in between those 2 loops. Next I'm going to do 2 purl stitches. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front of my work here. And I'm going to insert my hook into that vertical bar in the next stitch. Bring my yarn back around and yarn over and pull that loop. I'm going to do another purl. So I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, insert your hook into the next vertical bar, bring the yarn back again, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. Again, now I did 2 knits and 2 purls. I'm going to do 2 knits. So here's my next stitch. I'm going to insert my hook in that space in between and yarn over and pull up a loop. And then knit again in the next stitch. And now 2 purls. So I'm going to bring my yarn forward, insert my hook into this vertical bar in the next stitch, bring my yarn to the back, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. purl again in the next. So bring my yarn forward, insert my hook into that vertical bar, bring that yarn back around, and yarn over and pull up a loop. Now 2 knit stitches, insert my hook in that space in between those front and back loops right here, yarn over, pull up a loop, knit again in the next one. So there I have 2 knit stitches. Now I'm going to do 2 purls. So bring that yarn forward, insert your hook into that vertical bar in the next stitch, bring the yarn back and yarn over, pull up a loop. Again, purl in the next one. And here I'm going to knit in the next 2 stitches. Knit and knit. And now I'm going to make my edge stitch where I will insert my hook along the side of that stitch, gathering both of those loops on the side, and yarn over and pull up a loop. Now I will do my return pass. Chain 1, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way across until 1 loop remains. And there you have the repeat for a Tunisian ribbing. So I'm going to repeat that, continue repeating that row. So we'll do it one more time together. So here for row 3, we're going to repeat that again. So I'm going to start with, in this second stitch from my hook, I'm going to start with 2 knit stitches. So here's that space in between those front and back loops. I'm going to do 2 knit stitches. And then now I'm going to do 2 purl stitches. Bring that yarn around and yarn over, pull up a loop. Bring the yarn forward, insert your hook there. Sometimes the stitches can get a little bit close together with those purls. There we go. And then 2 knit stitches. And 2 purl stitches. Bring that yarn forward. We're going to continue repeating that all the way across the row, doing 2 knit stitches and then 2 purl stitches. Purls can be tricky, especially when they're right next to each other. There we go. So here's my last 2 knit stitches of the row. And then I'm going to do my edge stitch where I'm going to insert my hook along the side here, grabbing both of those side loops. And then yarn over and pull up a loop. And now do the return pass. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 loops all the way across until 1 loop remains. You can already see that ribbing pattern start to form after just doing a couple rows, alternating those knit and purl stitches. So just repeat that row until your project is the length that you're looking for. And then when you come on back, we will bind off our work. So here I have repeated those rows a couple more times to have a little bit of a bigger view of what this ribbing will look like. So now let's go ahead and bind off our project. So to bind off the project, we're going to be doing kind of slip stitches across the top. So I'm going to insert my hook into the vertical bar here in the second stitch from my hook and yarn over and pull that yarn through that bar and through the loop on my hook. I'm going to do that all the way across my row to close up these stitches along the top. Here's my last vertical bar, and now I'm going to do the edge stitch just like I have been doing throughout. And there you have Tunisian rib stitch. Now when you're doing this ribbing and you're alternating those purl and knit stitches, you can do any combination of knits and purls that you like. So if you wanted to do a bigger knit section and a smaller purl section to make your ribs a little closer together, you could do that as well. We just went ahead and did 2 and 2 throughout, but you can do it any combination that you would like to make your ribbing any size and width that you wanted. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.